Remember last year's amazing trip? That cute first birthday party? All those photos, all those memories can be freed from your phone with a Shutterfly photo book. Rediscover and share your favorite moments with those you love. You'll be amazed how easy it is to make a photo book with Shutterfly and enjoy it for years to come. Get 40% off orders over $29 with code POD40 at Shutterfly.com and make something that means something.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was getting frustrated by your forms. Now, Taxes is uploading your forms with a snap, and a TurboTax expert will do your taxes for you. One who's backed by the latest tech, which cross-checks millions of data points for absolute accuracy, all of which makes it easy for you to get the most money back, guaranteed. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Ms. Callender, I'm sure your computer science class is fascinating. I happen to believe that one can survive in modern society without being a slave to the idiot box.
That's TV. The idiot box is TV. This is the good box.
I still prefer a good book.
The printed page is obsolete. Information isn't bound up anymore. It's an entity. The only reality is virtual. If you're not jacked in, you're not alive.
To Buffering the Vampire Slayer once more with spoilers, a podcast where we are watching and discussing every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer one at a time for the second time, this time with spoilers. A moment, please, of quiet reflection as I try to figure out who's been on my files. I'm Jenny Owen Youngs.
I am astounded. I was like, she's going to pick one of two things and I'll just do the other. So I'll combine my two. I'm jacked in, and all I want is your love. I'm Kristin Russo, and today we are discussing Season 1, Episode 8, I, Robot, ... you, Jane.
I, Robot, ... you, Jane, was written by Ashley Gable and Thomas A. Swiden. Directed by Stephen Posey. It originally aired on April 28th, 1997, and our spoiler-free coverage of this episode originally aired on November 9th, 2016. A totally normal day.
Completely.
Totally unrelated to current events.
Completely normal day. And what's wild is, so we're ahead of production here, or at least ahead of our standard turnaround for production, because I'm, having a baby. So we're recording this well in advance. It doesn't go up, I think, until like the, 19th of February or something. But we're recording this on the 21st of January, 2025. Yesterday was the 20th of January. And so it was really, really wild to realize that we had aired this episode a day after the presidential election results came in 2016. And we were recording this episode a day after the inauguration here in the United States. Fun times all around. Let's talk about fucking Buffy, shall we? This is the one where, according to IMDb, Willow's new internet chat buddy turns out to be a powerful demon electronically unleashed from a centuries-old, newly digitized book. This is the one where Moloch is Malcolm and Malcolm is Moloch, and there's a demon on the internet.
Before we dive directly into the World Wide Web for a detailed breakdown of this episode, it's my duty, privilege, and calling to inform you that into every generation, a spoiler warning is born. We alone wield the strength and skill to discuss things from any of the following sources: all 7 seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, plus the canonical Dark Horse comics, plus Angel the TV series and any related canonical comics, plus anything that currently exists inside of the Buffyverse and anything that may be announced or released as we go.
Hell yeah. Pew, 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 as they say.
They do say that.
Before we get into big thoughts, I already kind of told you, I already dove into the biggest thing from the bufferingcast.com/now and then side-by-side comparison document open to all of our listeners, where some of you are letting us know what we once talked about the first time, which was, of course, the episode introduction, which we recorded, I think, at like 3 a.m. after election night, right before it went live. But it's also the first appearance of our podcast friend, Gabe Dunn, who loves being mentioned, which is exciting. Gabe Dunn entered the universe 8 years ago for iRobot Eugene. Will they still love being mentioned? Remains to be seen, but now you know. And
I feel confident beyond the shadow of a doubt that Gabe will always love being mentioned.
Also, Jenny, I don't think you're going to like this one, but the other thing that felt important to mention is that I revealed 8 years ago in this episode that I once had an eyebrow ring. And Jenny then revealed that she had a belly button ring. Astounding the masses, truly. It doesn't make any... Where does it dangle? Jenny Owen Youngs of the 90s said, right here in my midriff. What?
Yeah, that didn't last very long. Again, I think I probably have detailed this, but it was a spite piercing. I wasn't piercing my body. I was piercing my body at someone, and it doesn't matter. It is but a memory. It is but...
At someone.
Can I help you?
Just spite piercing and piercing it at someone. It's just funny, okay? Sometimes you're funny.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah. Kristin.
Yes.
I don't have any big thoughts for this episode. I feel like this episode is its own big thought. Shall we just get immediately into it?
Get it. I mean, I think the big thoughts are there's a demon on the internet. Can you get any bigger of a thought?
Yeah,
Actually, no, I lied. I have one big thought. I do have one big thought. Because, we just covered season 2 of the X-Files, so we've been dabbling. We've been dabbling in the 1995 universe, and there was, of course, an entire episode.
The universe of 1995.
The universe of 1995. And there was an episode inside of the X-Files where the computer had taken over and it could see Scully in the elevator. And, it's just, I think my large thoughts are, how fun would it be to curate the viewing of that episode of the X-Files and this episode of Buffy and the movie Hackers and just the 90s, how do you pronounce OUERVR?
Oeuvre.
Yeah, that.
Or as you say, oeuvre.
Oeuvre. The Citrion of, all the things that we were thinking about. And sorry, I guess I had bigger thoughts than I thought, because the day after the inauguration, seeing some of the folks sitting in the audience for that, who sort of are the figureheads of social media today and internet today, as I was thinking about these kind of cautionary tales of what can happen with the internet that were rolling out in the early to mid 90s, there's just something so incredible about it. And I'm going to talk about it more, especially when we get to the Jenny Calendar v. Rupert Giles of it all. But I just found it very interesting, and I thought one day when we have some time, it would be fun to do sort of There's a Demon on the Internet mini-series where we just...
The film festival?
Film festival, yeah. Anyway.
Is there a demon on the internet in Hackers? I've never seen it.
I'm sorry. I'm going to skip...
Yeah.
I'm going to...
What? Suspend your disbelief. I haven't seen Hackers. Is there a force? Is there some kind of entity on the internet?
No, but it's, it's still computer driven. What can you get into? It's just all of us sort of
feel like there's probably a film that is more directly connected to iRobot Eugene and
You're right.
the X-Files episode where the electronic building kills people.
You're right.
Death building. The building that deaths people.
I just want to watch Angelina Jolie, but you're right.
Sure.
And also,
Kristin,
you're trying to skate by this, but now I will not rest until we do a group watch of Hackers.
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
Oh, it's
okay.
a great movie. It's like informed the way I type on a keyboard, Jenny, like like in the 90s, I always was like, and now I'm a hacker.
Oh, if only you, dear listener at home, could see Kristin's hand movements. Is very think of a gif of a cat typing on because somebody's holding its elbows and whipping its paws up and down. That's Kristin's typing vibe. Okay, Kristin, come with me now to ancient Italy, Cortona, 1418 AD.
Columbus hasn't even sailed yet. It's 1418. Oh, Jenny's holding up her candle, underlighting her face again. I like how you're now deploying that for dramatic purposes. Great.
Yeah, well, because they didn't have electricity in Cortona, Italy, in 1418.
It's true.
Right?
Correct, I think. Sure. Yeah, no, they didn't. I wrote down
Joanna
Corona,
Robinson gave
Italy.
me this candle. It feels very, is it Corona?
No, you're probably right.
Listen,
But
it's possible, it's possible I looked in the wrong place. I think it was the Wikipedia article that said Cortona.
I believe you. Cortona.
Corona sounds like a real place, though. Cortona sounds like, I don't know, a typo. Joanna Robinson gave me this candle, and it has a one ring to rule them all inside the candle. I have to burn the whole candle to get my precious.
Wow.
And it's taking forever.
So, Moloch, in his original demon form.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Jenny, go ahead.
Moloch, the corruptor?
Yes.
I think you mean.
That's the one.
And this is where I want to pause for the first audience participation. Ask, dear listeners, I am in the market for a title, a descriptive title. Moloch the corruptor, Jenny the... Please write to hello@bufferingcast.com and let me know what you think would be an appropriate title for me.
Does it need to be like the like it needs to be sort of a thing that you're
I think it should
be
doing?
It shouldn't be like Jenny the enthusiastic, like it has to be like a thing you're actively doing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
It has to be a noun, but an active noun.
Oh, an active.
Like a corruptor is a noun whomst corrupts.
Okay, a noun. So it has to be a noun that verbs.
Yeah. I need a noun that verbs for just me. Me. Okay, sorry. This is actually a podcast about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which you probably haven't been able to tell for the last 10 or so minutes.
Carlo, do you love me? All
Listen,
I want is your love. Carlo says, you have my love. And then Moloch says, snap to the neck.
I just feel like Moloch is a little bit of a try-hard, Well,
I just don't really understand what Moloch wants.
What does he think love is?
And also, like, if he wants your love and then he gets your love, why does he kill you? If he doesn't get your love, I understand the motivation. And just to skip ahead a little bit, Jenny, I feel like, okay, so the demon wants your love, fine. And I'll just suspend my disbelief that when he gets it, he kills you. Maybe he's confused. But he also spends like a good portion of the episode just pranking everyone at Sunnydale High. And so
he's like, I'm deleting penicillin allergy off of this kid's medical record. It's really unclear what Moloch actually wants.
And maybe someone should have asked him, Like, first step.
Maybe he would be in a different position right now. Yeah. Fritz, you couldn't ask for a better foot soldier than Fritz, and you're going to off this guy?
That's what I'm saying.
Who's going to do all of your dirty work?
And Carlo seemed like sort of like the original Fritz, ready to serve, ready to be there, ready to do whatever Moloch needed. And Moloch, for some reason, wanted to keep Willow, but like not Fritz. Fritz was a much better lover for Moloch. Not me personally. Anyway.
Okay, don't worry. If you were worried about the safety of Cortona, Italy, circa 1418, you need not be, because a monk named Thelonious, that's right, Thelonious Monk.
I didn't see that.
Thelonious Monk is on the case, and he is ready to bind Moloch the Corruptor using the power of the Circle of Kalos.
With a K.
With a K, let us not forget. I love that we get the... It's picture day at the FBI. Scully and Mulder are taking their ID photographs. Scully is doing her 3/4 turn glamour shot, and so is Moloch the Corruptor. We see him doing this little turn in the credits every week.
Yes. I pointed that out to Avanti. Look, there's Moloch. See, you just met him. Now you know who he is in the credits. I love how easy it is to bind this demon. You could be anywhere. And you just have to...
Yeah, I love that.
Which
is why you can do it over the internet.
Literally anywhere. And you just say the words. You have to, though... Now, here's the thing. You have to believe the words. This is something that goes in and out in terms of consistency in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Sometimes the spell will only work if you scream them. Sometimes you can look at a book, read it carelessly in the voice of Xander, and the spell will work. So I guess it's spell specific. But this monk screams just as much as Giles later on. So you got to scream this one. Also, Jenny. This book made especially just to trap Moloch with Moloch's little drawing on the front. Doesn't say anything. It's just a little picture.
Like, did it have the picture of Moloch on it before he was bound, or does that appear post binding ritual?
Did they only close it after he was in it?
I don't know.
I don't remember when I saw the drawing.
I should know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But my follow-up question is, you're this monk, you're Thelonious. Why are you not also writing? For those of you who don't know what the face of a demon on a book means, here's just a quick description of what's inside and why you shouldn't read it.
I have the same note. Why not write, do not read this book on it or something. You know what I mean? Kristin wrote in her notes. Well, because then we would have never gotten this delightfully unhinged episode.
Sure, yes. But I'm thinking like you bind the demon in the book and then you destroy the book?
Destroy the book? And if that's not possible, if that's not a thing that you can do with this particular demon, I mean, have you seen Hocus Pocus, monks? At least put a little lock on the thing.
Yeah,
at least
put a little virgin candle requirement.
Yeah. Make it harder to fucking unbind this demon. The book arrives at Sunnydale Library. I ask, what do the administrators think about all of these, like, crates arriving with dusty books for Rupert Giles?
Here's the progression of my notes. Why is Giles having ancient supernatural texts sent to the fucking school? Your tax dollars at work, Sunnydale. And then I was like, actually, this is a good use of Sunnydale tax dollars.
True.
But so would be paying Buffy.
Yeah.
Somebody put this girl on a payroll somewhere.
Slayer
Please,
tax.
God.
The Slayer tax. You've heard of it. Buffy is wearing pigtails. I give it an A+ in my notes. It's very good. Very good. I like Buffy and pigtails. And there's class being held in the library. I was pretty sure that we said no one was allowed in the library. I don't understand how this is happening.
This is the only episode where interlopers are permitted. Who's here?
Well, Dave and Fritz.
Sure. But like, who's really here? You know what I mean?
Jenny fucking Calendar has entered the chat.
Well.
Jenny Owen Youngs. I have a lot to say about Jenny Calendar.
That's why we're here.
I mean, okay, so Jenny Calendar, played by Robia Lamort, who now goes by Robia Scott. I think that the most important thing to note is that LaToya. LaToya was feeling under the weather, so we said, hey, don't sleep, rest, take care of yourself. So LaToya's deeper dive production notes will be tethered to the puppet show, and if there are things we want to bring in there, we can. But even through, and I said this earlier, I was like, just like Jenny and LaToya has a similar like sort of core to her where it's like, I'm really sick and I can't do this, but oh my God, this episode has a couple of things I just have to say. I can't say them. And one of them was, Kristin and Jenny, can you please tell me which of the Prince music videos is your favorite starring Robia Lamort? Now, I know that somewhere along the way I learned that Robia was in Prince music videos, but I didn't actually watch them until today, Jennifer. And I feel so strongly about them that I have said it is now absolutely an obligation for us to, sometime in season 2, do a patron-only podcast discussing simply the videos that she's in, including Cream, Get Out, and Diamonds and Pearls, where she plays Pearl. This is not like a background role, okay? Robia Lamort and a dancer named Lori L were cast as the 2 main dancers. So it's like Prince and then the 2 of them, like side by side. They're either putting whipped cream in each other's mouths or in Prince's mouth. There's a narrative arc to these videos. Like, you know, Cream was like 7 minutes long and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. So I just want to say, you should go and watch these videos. It's really important for so many reasons. I will tell you inside of this podcast that I did watch them, but Jenny's waiting so that we can figure out how we want to produce the special episode.
Yes.
LaToya's favorite is Get Off. Get Off and Cream, okay? Prince princing the fuck out. But... And I think I may have... I don't even know what I would have chosen, except I can tell you that in Diamonds and Pearls... Prince, okay, you know how you have a couch, Jenny, right? But you know that then there's this thing called a settee. It's sort of like long couch-like thing, but it doesn't have a back. It just has 2 sides to it, you know? A settee, I think, is what you'd call it.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a moment in Diamonds and Pearls, the music video, where Prince, who I've decided is exactly the same size as Julian Baker. I'm pretty sure that, like, inch by inch, they are the same size person. Jumps up in the air, bounces his butt on the settee, which then launches him off of it into a split. I've never seen anything so incredible or hilarious in my entire life. And so therefore I'm choosing Diamonds and Pearls as my favorite Robia Lamort, even though it has nothing to do with her, but I just love it. She plays Pearl. Did I say that? Fucking L'Oreal is Diamond and Robia Lamort is Pearl. I just go watch the videos, okay? I haven't really spent a lot of time with Prince music videos, and it really took my mind off of everything else that's happening in this world in a way that was absolutely delightful. So go there and stay tuned because we will have a special episode digging into Robia Lamort and Prince music videos. And Jenny, sorry, I can't stop talking today.
Mm-hmm.
But when we interviewed Sharon Ferguson back in the first run, who plays Sinea, the first Slayer, she also talked about the fact that she was a dancer for Prince. So I don't have time to go into all of this right now, but there's a huge... We know about the Dolly Parton through line in Buffy. There's a huge Prince through line in Buffy too. So important to note. And then Robia Lamort also plays a techno-pagan in the show, was like sucking whipped cream off of people's fingers, a dancer for Prince. But then she asked for a sign later in life and met a Christian biker gang, which turned her to a different path. And she is now, I believe, at least she was a born-again Christian. She mostly left acting, though maybe is starting to return to it. It's a whole thing, and I've taken up enough real estate, but if you go to robiascott.com, you will see where we're at right now. And honestly, the first thing that I thought, and I don't know anything. Okay, I don't know anything. I'm basing this off of looks alone. I was like, Lottie from Yellow Jackets, like fully 100% adult Lottie energy as the landing page of this site. So, it's just a wild ride. Robia Lamort / Robia Scott's journey. And I would like to personally focus on the Prince music videos of it all. Thank you, LaToya, for prompting us. Stay tuned for the bonus episode.
Yeah, I'm looking at some stuff and it's not good.
No. No. Though Wikipedia does tell me that her first music video appearance was in Debbie Gibson's Shake Your Love, which was one of my favorite songs of that era. So, okay. Jenny Owen Young's Jenny Calendar is here. The first thing she does is correct Giles, who says you can skim it when what he means is you can scan it. These two are the smuggest bitches of the episode towards each other.
Well, but also Fritz doesn't have a lot of smug stuff to say aloud.
That's true.
But when he goes for it, which we heard in the opening clip, he really, really, really goes. He makes it count.
He's
the only
jacked
reality
in.
is virtual. If you're not jacked in, you're not alive.
Wow.
Actually.
Fritz.
And then he grabs his books and leaves.
Listen, Fritz was going to do something bad no matter what. Moloch or not, Fritz was not on a path for goodness. There was a danger.
She's a techno-pagan. He loves books. How are they going to make this work?
I don't know, Jenny, but they are, in the My So-Called Life universe, we've been learning that if two people are fighting, you should be wary because where there is the energy and passion to fight, there might also be the energy and passion to do something else. And I mean, these two have it from the start. I'll be back in the Middle Ages, Giles says. Going to look something up. Did you ever leave? Says Jenny Calendar. And then they give them like a pause that is properly a beat for them to just look at each other.
Looks, but also, why does this high school library have an entire Middle Ages section?
Because it's not a high school library, Jenny. It's a Watchers Council library. Oh, God.
Well, late into the night, Willow is still there, scanning the night away. She scans the Moloch tome. The writing disappears. The computer screen goes black and simply types, "Where am I?"
Shout out to the software that Willow is using called Scanomatic, which is spelled Matique. Scanomatic. Sunnydale High School. Willow comes in the next day. She is walking on clouds. She has met someone. This would be big news, Jenny, except for she opens her locker and we learn that inside her locker, she has a picture of her and Giles together. When did they take this picture? What is it doing in her locker? This is where I would like to focus the episode's energy, but they're not taking it there.
Curiouser and curiouser. They're just two lovers of books.
Books.
Yeah, they're literary enthusiasts and best pals.
I mean, she had to get this photo developed. This is not a time when you can just. This is
not you just take it with your phone. No, she used one of her very limited exposures in a roll of film, took it to the film development hut in the parking lot of James Way. That might just be very hyper regional. A proto Target, a proto Walmart, whatever. Okay. Dropped it off, came back an hour later.
Oh, you think she paid for an hour processing?
No, you're right. I never
did.
Dropped it off, picked it up the next day.
I always paid for doubles, though. I'll tell you what. Why did I need two of every picture? No one will ever know. But I have...
Because most of them were awful.
Oh, my God. And I have two of everything. Anyway, Willow is falling for an entity named Malcolm. She believes it to be a boy named Malcolm. Last night, we talked all night. I write in my notes, I would love to get a transcript of what this conversation included. What? All night? What was Moloch saying? What were they talking?
You never talked all night to somebody in high school?
I mean, yeah, I just want to hear what Moloch had to contribute to a conversation like that.
Well, whatever he has to say, he has access to the whole World Wide Web. He's learning he's like the cranberries.com. Listen, Malcolm sounds like the total package. He's smart. He's romantic. He agrees with me. Appearance unknown.
Buffy astounded in only a way that you could be in 1998. Computer lab. Dave looking into the computer saying, yes, I will. I promise. A lot of blurriness between sort of, I mean, I guess Moloch is sort of, learning what he can do. So he at first is limited to like typing on the screen somehow, but then he figures out how to like tap into the cameras. And once he does that, I guess he can hear. So at this point, Dave can just say what he thinks, but they also often type just for backup.
Did you happen to recognize Dave?
Oh, I didn't.
From one of your favorite film franchises?
No.
Can you guess?
Is he from Scream? Nightmare on Elm Street?
No. Okay, sorry.
Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
the other.
He's in
Nightmare on Elm Street.
first Fast. He's in the Fast and the Furious. And he plays Jesse, who is a mechanic in like Dom's shop / family, who I think has ADHD and who loses a car in a race at the desert, and then maybe Dom like wins it back.
Okay, yeah. I can kind of picture him, to be honest with you, now that you say that. Wow, fun. Glad to know Dave is still alive and well in other universes.
Fast and the Furious came out just 4 years after this. That's why he
No.
Oh, man, I can't believe they're going strong.
Yes, the Vintage Film Festival starring fucking The Fast and the Furious. Great. So Buffy is confused as shit about how someone could meet someone else online. Online
for what?
Online for what? Enter Jenny Calendar, who has crimped her hair for this day of school. We love it. I love it.
So crimped. Oh my God. The zigs and zags are burned into my brainstem.
Yeah.
Buffy continuing to be unconvinced about Willow's internet boyfriend. While they're chatting, pixely Moloch POV shot.
Love it. Anything with pixels, I love.
The scanning through the Sunnydale High School student roster. He pulls up the Buffy. I love that, like, he can't just, like, look on his own. He has to, like, be pulling it up on a computer screen. And, okay, the student profiles in the Sunnydale computer system, we've got a loose leaf background with, the light blue rules.
Yep.
Buffy's little photo, her incorrect birthday, October 24th, 1980. Her GPA 2.8. She's had one absence. That's it.
Bullshit. I call bullshit.
Athletics, no. So, question. Does being an alternate cheerleader not, like, you're not... Wouldn't an alternate have to be going to practice and learning all the routines just in case, I feel like?
Yeah, but didn't she just not do it?
I don't know. That's why I'm here. This is exactly the sort of question I'm here to ask and get an answer to, Kristin.
Yeah, I don't know. But the computers are fucked up at Sunnydale High School because then he pulls it up for Fritz. And Jenny, then her birthday, still incorrect, is 5679, which is wild. And she's also listed instead of as a sophomore as a senior. Has the same GPA and no athletics. But it is like completely wrong on every level. And like no one caught this. So, I know that we called out this inconsistency on our first watch. But sometimes you just got to call it out twice.
Later, she will be canonically established as a Capricorn.
That's what she is. Moloch says to Fritz, watch her.
Oh, God. Okay, so Willow is like making her case still. She's like, listen, I'll tell you all about him. His name is Malcolm Black. He's 18. He lives in Elmwood, which is 80 miles away. Elmwood sounds like a real name of a town that somebody needed a name for a town in a script, and that's what they came up with. Not that there can't be towns named Elmwood. If you're a citizen of a town named Elmwood, stop typing your email to us right now. I know you exist, but also there's a certain, easiness.
Yes.
of this
Pick
town
a tree,
names. Like,
put wood after it, and you've got a town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffy's concerned that he might have a hairy back. Willow, he doesn't talk like he has a hairy back. Now, that should be the poster for warning kids about catfishing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This was making me think, what is Buffy picturing? What am I picturing when I'm trying to think of somebody who talks like they have a hairy back? And all I can come up with is Ozcob and the Penguin. Poisonally, I'd like to share some poisonal anecdotes.
Fritz tells Miss Calendar that she'll die, which seems rude, because she asks if she's going to be excited about the new project they're working on. I guess maybe Moloch has big plans for killing everyone. No one is letting us know what Moloch wants.
And honestly, we'll never know, and that's good.
Yeah, that's true.
If we the only surefire way to know would be for Moloch to remain unbound and carry out his. But what if his plan is just to delete everyone's penicillin allergy in their medical file across the globe?
Yeah, and then make some of the students seem like they might be Nazis, which is the other prank he pulls in this next scene.
Out on the steps in the Sunnydale courtyard, a 35-year-old high school student is saying, "This isn't my report. Nazi Germany was a model of a well-ordered society. Who's been on my files?"
Please note that he is sitting with the largest laptop ever created on his lap. Ever. It's the largest. It is why a laptop is called a laptop, because it is the size of his whole...
You need your whole lap.
His whole lap. Xander wants to go to
Xander, you mean the belle of the ball?
The belle of the ball. Xander Harris wants Willow to go to the Bronze, but now she's got a boyfriend and Buffy has to slay vampires, and Xander's feeling feelings, which is fair. This is a reason for any person to feel feelings. He also has some very good points. I could say I'm a high school student. Buffy says, "You are." He said, "But I could also say I'm an elderly Dutch woman. All I have to do is be in the elderly Dutch woman chat room." This is true. This is concerning. And Buffy's concerned for like a hot beat. And then she's like, "You're just getting me all worked up. I'm overreacting."
But what about a horrible axe murder?
But she just like dismisses it all. Like, I'm catastrophizing, says Buffy. No, that's not what this show is about. It is catastrophe after catastrophe.
Have you ever noticed that when Fritz is saying,
"I'm jacked in. I'm jacked in. I'm jacked in. I'm jacked in,"
it kind of feels like he's almost saying something else.
Yeah. I have noticed, Jenny. I have.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
I don't like it, but he's saying that, his little mantra, while he like is cutting a little M into his arm.
Where does that come from? I mean,
it's his devotion. Do you love me? Carve a little M in your arm.
I mean, okay, but just it feels okay. Sure, fine. This
episode, there's simply a lot going on, Kristin.
Willow is late. She has missed fucking class. This is not like anybody else missing class. This is Willow Rosenberg missing class. Willow Rosenberg doesn't miss fucking class. She would not miss class if she had a new boy that she was interested in either. It's just because Moloch / Malcolm is an incredibly seductive demon, as we learn later from Giles.
See, when I was thinking about possible names for myself, titles, an example I was going to give was Jenny the Seducer, but in this way, not in like a sexual way, just in like a convincing way. Kind of like the Corruptor,
right?
Just like working, like convincing you to, what am I convincing you to do? Watch the Penguin,
right,
for example.
right.
Just drawing, a possibility out of thin air.
But Jenny the Convincer does
Jenny the Convincer with an OR. Jenny the Convincer. Great.
All right, well, there's one idea. You can't send that one in, but we'll take the rest of them. So Willow's mad at Buffy because she feels like Buffy's not supporting her love.
Malcolm said you wouldn't understand. Malcolm was right.
Oh, I love that that's Buffy's answer.
Yeah, it is really. I know I sound like I don't love it, but I love it.
It's good. It's good. Buffy is looking fabulous. She's wearing a black miniskirt with a black tank top. She's got a half
school.
This is better than business casual. I vote for this.
No. I mean, she looks cooler, but if someone else had shown up to my high school wearing this, they would have been sent home or they would have been given, an extra large t-shirt from the nurse's office.
Same. In California, though, you can wear whatever you want. That's what TV taught me in the 90s.
Yes.
Rules in New York and New Jersey were strict, but in California, you could do anything. Dave is startled because he's in the zone, and Buffy is like, hey, how do we find out where an E letter came from? Put it down in your notes, E letter. And they start having this conversation, also catfish adjacent. But then once Willow's name comes up, Dave snaps and he's like, leave Willow alone. That's none of your business. Quoting Jenny Owen Youngs.
Yeah. See, Malcolm and I have one thing in common, and it's this. Moloch, the corruptor, Jenny, the convincer, or hey, how about the infector? I can infect you with my cool ideas about watching The Penguin.
I don't know. There's too much like germ association with infect. I think you're better.
All right. We'll keep workshopping. Kristin.
Yeah.
You know how you can pull up someone's profile based on their username via their e-letter to find their location and read their profile? When was the last time you said e-letter, if ever?
Never, not one time in my whole entire existence. E-letter?
Why are we not saying email? It's 98.
8, yeah. I'm already on fucking
97, sorry.
Is it 97? Oh, it's 97. I said 98 earlier. I messed us up.
Kristin.
I know. God, I'm sorry. There's so many shows in the 90s in my brain. It's hard to shake them all out. Anyway, Buffy, in a moment that I thought was really astute, her immediate response is, "Oh my God, are you Malcolm?" Which is like, that's a really good guess.
That seems, yeah.
Then Dave says he has some work to do, and in my notes I say, Fritz is out.
Fritz looks so angry.
So mad.
All right, over in the library, Giles is wishing that this computer issue could be, more like a nice ogre, a nice familiar bridge troll.
I also like that he says about Fritz and Dave, those boys aren't sparklingly normal as it is. Sparklingly normal. Giles has some really good librarian turns of phrase in the British librarian turns of phrase in this.
He's like, why don't you try following Dave? And Buffy's like, what, in dark glasses and a trench coat? Cut to Buffy in dark glasses and a trench coat. Does she just have this in her locker for just such an occasion?
Oh, I hope so. She is ready. I remember recently we did like Buffy's top 6 outfits or something, and I don't think I included this, and I regret it because this is truly one of my most memorable outfits of all time for Buffy Summers. This is like a velour trench coat, and she is wearing pink rimmed, black lensed sunglasses that are just exactly the right size for 1997, just like slightly smaller than the width of your head. Unbelievable.
Slightly smaller than your eye socket.
Yep.
Sort of hollow.
Iconic. Dave is there, but Jenny, the camera sees her. It does something, actually, Jenny, that we have a jingle for.
Holy hocus pocus, get it into focus. Enhance. A simple incantation to bring illumination.
Enhance those fucking pixels. Blow them up. Times 500. Let's go.
Zoom in and make it clearer somehow.
She's too close. What do I do? asks Fritz, kill
Is
her.
nobody... And he's like, party. Listen, there are a lot of things you could say to your sort of liege lord demon who you love when they instruct you to kill someone. And I think party is really all the way down at the bottom of my list.
It's true. But, you know, you got to give Fritz a little bit of credit. He doesn't need really much to keep himself entertained. He's really good. He's self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to hear him for him to get a kick out of himself.
Uh-huh. So Buffy reports back to Giles and Xander. And, very conveniently, Xander's uncle worked at this place, CRD, Callus Research and Development, so now we know what it is and that it's closed, so it's weird that there's people there. And Buffy and Xander are like, it's cool, we'll just break in. And Giles says, a moment please of quiet reflection. I did not just suggest that you illegally enter the... Jenny Calendar comes in, data into the file so the book will be listed by title as well as by author. Yeah, that's some real suave Rosenberg tier deception.
I didn't write down the exact quote, so I just wrote in my notes. Jenny Calendar walks in and Giles is like, and the Dewey Decimal System is books and yes, and libraries was how I summed it up.
She's here. She's here to check on some databases and make sure they're not glitching or whatever. She clocks Buffy and Xander and is like, you guys are in the library again? Don't worry, this will never happen again after this moment. No one will ever notice them being in the library because no one else will ever be in the library.
Also, let it be noted that Buffy says her spider sense is tingling, to which Giles is like, you're what now? Because Giles reads only particular kinds of books and none of them are comic in variety.
Yeah.
I kind of don't buy
like
that, actually.
Giles as a kid would have been reading comic books.
Exactly. Or Giles as Ripper would have at least known about Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, there's periods in Giles' life where I think. But they're establishing Giles as a stuffy librarian right now. They're not ready to give us the Ripper that lies within. All right. Great. Moloch's going to get a voice. We've been waiting for it. It's going to happen in any kind of television episode like this from the 90s. The computer will get a voice. Let's hear a little bit of this exchange between Malcolm/Moloch and Willow.
I've never felt this way about anyone before, Willow.
For years, skincare products have promised to fix lines and wrinkles and crepey skin, but rarely do they ever deliver lasting results, which is where today's sponsor, OneSkin, changes literally everything. In honor of National Women Inventors Month, we're highlighting OneSkin's founding team of female scientists who have developed a whole new approach to skincare. It starts at the cellular level. They have a proprietary OS1 peptide, and it's the first peptide scientifically proven to reverse skin aging by switching off the dysfunctional senescent cells that cause the lines, the wrinkles, and the crepey skin. I've been using OneSkin's facial moisturizer and eye cream for almost a year at this point, and I will not go back to anything else. It is truly the best skincare that I have used, and I have used many products. OneSkin believes the purpose of skincare is not just to improve how you look, but to optimize your skin's biology at that cellular level, so it's more resilient to the aging process. And who doesn't want to celebrate women in STEM? Founded and led by an all-woman team of skin longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self. Get 15% off with code BUFFERING at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code BUFFERING. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you.
Ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes, so you can fuel right and feel great, no matter what life or some monster of the week might throw at you. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. And Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfasts, grab-and-go snacks, and more add-ons. As your average multi-hyphenate, singer, songwriter, musician, podcaster, soon-to-be-published author, and parent, I can definitely say from experience that it is really hard to find balance in the modern world. That's why I love Factor. Their delicious meals and awesome add-ons are quality fuel that keep the engine running and save precious time. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does, without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
I know what you mean. I feel like you know me better than anyone.
I do.
Do you think we should meet?
I think we should, soon.
I'm nervous.
I'm not. Isn't that strange?
That's what Buffy doesn't understand. How comfortable you can make me feel.
Buffy just makes trouble. That's why she got kicked out of her old school.
How did you know that? How did you know that?
The fact that Moloch is like, it's on her permanent record. No, you must have mentioned it. Like, searching around for, like, the right answer. It's really funny to me.
Villains always do this. Villains who are pretending to not be villains are always overreaching with what they know.
It's true. It's true. Willow, thankfully, is Willow. So she immediately clocks like, fuck, there is something weird here. She signs off. Oh my God. Listen, we just played a sound clip, but we have to play another one, Jenny. It's important.
Too important.
You're a snob.
I have no such thing.
Oh, you are a big snob. I mean, you think that knowledge should be kept in these carefully guarded repositories where only a handful of white guys can get at it.
Nonsense. I simply don't adhere to a knee-jerk assumption that because something is new, it's better.
This isn't a fad, Rupert. We are creating a new society here.
A society in which human interaction is all but obsolete, in which people can be completely manipulated by technology. Well, thank you. I'll pass.
Yeah, I too will pass. Would that someone would give me the option to pass.
Yeah. Jenny said the patriarchy, first of all. Important. We'll play the jingle. The patriarchy! And she's right in a lot of ways. Like, books and knowledge has been held for white men for eons, and academia is often dragged very validly for this point. Giles, especially this iteration of Giles, is like right on the edge of being very much guilty as charged. But we are in a library, and library's general sense of purpose is to actually, destroy that hierarchy.
Make knowledge accessible to all.
Exactly. And Giles's fear of computers, and especially what he'll say later, which I found very powerful, has some very important grounding points to it. So I think points on both sides for this argument. But happy to hear Jenny Calendar just arrive and on day one be like, and white men. Okay. Welcome to the show, buddy. Welcome to the show.
While they're chatting though, The Moloch book is blank. Giles lost in his own thoughts immediately. Synapses firing like crazy. Is like, well, it's been so nice talking to you. Goodbye now.
Johnny Calendar, we were arguing. We must do it again sometime. This is when we get a quick shot of the nurse walking by. Nothing said he was allergic to penicillin. Moloch cackling in the corner about his pranks.
Yeah, but Dave is like, oh, hey, Buffy, Willow is looking for you in the girls' locker room. Nothing weird about this. Bye.
Fritz has turned on the water.
We are living on a prayer here. Sure, I bet if Buffy comes in here, she'll turn the water off. She's famously really concerned with water conservation. She actually does mention this is how droughts get started. Maybe this is a part of her personality we never see before or again.
Yeah, environmental concern.
And Fritz was
Buffy
just
Summers.
tuned into it.
But also, what are the odds of Willow casually taking an after-school shower? You know what I mean? That's where I lose it. I'm like, what? Who would elect to take a shower?
Especially in this setup where it's just like wide open spaces. Everyone's favorite way to take a shower.
Oh, the Rose Bowl pool in Pasadena, California, the locker room, this is what it is. And I don't think that before this I had ever experienced a locker room like that. And, you know, whatever, you do what you do and you just get used to it. But I was just like, okay, so we're just all naked. We're just all naked and showering. And some people are just having conversations. Did you see what Pam did the other day? We're all naked.
That's another pass for me.
She goes in, she turns off the water. This is some fucking Ruth from Ozark shit right here. Putting the live wire in the water, gonna electrocute your ass. Thank God. You see, this is why teen girls don't get enough credit. Because if Buffy didn't have those chunky fucking rubber heels, we might have lost Buffy episode 8.
Yeah, Giles is like, if it was anyone but the Slayer, and I'm like, if it was anyone but the Slayer's shoes,
yeah. Dave screams, get out, and she jumps, and this is Alex Mack in my mind. The way that the lightning is like, this is it, as she flies over the fucking bathroom thing and lands on the floor. Her boots are smoking. Her hair is fried.
In the computer lab, Dave needs to back out. He's like, I can't kill Buffy. And Moloch is like, but you have to. All I want is your love. And when Dave is ultimately like, no, Moloch just starts, there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse when you're serving a demon who's trapped in the internet and all of a sudden you're having an argument and then all of a sudden they just start typing a suicide note on the screen in front of you and also doing it in a voice that feels rude.
I agree. I have a huge note that
Dave.
Moloch is like, let me change my voice to mock this boy as he writes this note.
Moloch is like, what would a little bitch sound like if they were writing this note?
Oh God. So this is not funny. It's not, but
no, it's awful and scary.
It's awful and scary, but the Moloch of it all is just so much.
Moloch really brings a certain je ne sais quoi to everything he touches. And it's wild.
Fritz, of course, is lurking in the corner.
Oh God.
And before we find out what happens to Dave, we know what happens to Dave. We go to the library. We get Buffy asking about her hair, which is relatable content. Xander, it's great. Your best hair ever. This is where we learn about Moloch the Seductor, who preys on impressionable minds.
It's actually the Seducer.
What did I say? Oh, Seductor.
It's actually the Corruptor.
Seductor is actually a little-known dinosaur. You haven't heard of him, but
Seductosaurus. Yeah. Totally. Doesn't sound like any of my business.
I just pictured like one of the dinosaurs from the television show Dinosaurs with like pretty good lipstick going on.
Okay, how much would you appreciate my business partnership if I told you I'm Googling Seductosaurus? Okay, weirdly, it's just clips of someone's wedding video. So
wow.
All right.
Well, there's a hole, you know? Sometimes you think everyone's done everything, but Seductosaurus, ripe for the plucking.
Seductosaurus, there's a hole. That's the slogan that Kristin has come up with. For your new business, seductosaurus.com.
Giles says that quote, that dreadful calendar woman found it. This is when you know that these two are going to be fucking so soon.
Yeah, they're going to smooch.
The Giles doth protest too much. They realize what has happened. Who would have read this? It was in a pile of books that got scanned into the computer. Buffy, he's gone binary on us. He's everywhere. Oh, fuck. This is my favorite moment in the episode, Jenny.
Is it when Giles is like, let's delete the file? Or is it when, upon attempting to delete the file, we get pixely Moloch, stay away from Willow. She is none of your business. It is none of your business.
One of the things that LaToya said, because she couldn't help herself but give us a few notes, was that this reminded her of a villain from VR Troopers. And I had in my notes that this very much, especially when we get Machine Moloch, reminded me of a villain from Power Rangers, which is kind of same. But this whole thing is like really edging on Power Ranger for me.
Totally.
With the villain of Malcolm Moloch. They go through a quick list of all the things you might be able to fuck up when you control the internet, which has really no relevance in the year 2025 at all, actually. So this,
I don't see how that applies.
You know, some things get dated, and, you know, we just have to put ourselves back in a time when this could be of concern. Buffy's going to go to the computer lab, and she tells Xander and Giles to call Willow at home. At the computer lab, well, first of all, at the computer lab, all the computers turn on at once. Jenny, have you seen this video that's like absolutely mind unraveling? And it's this guy he's in a computer lab, kind of like this one, but with way more computers. And he has them all set to cue Seal's Kiss from a Rose. And so he starts each computer on a slight delay, and there's like probably 20 computers, and it creates this sound that is indescribable as Seal sings on a delay from Seal 20 times over.
I have not had the pleasure.
Well, that's just something that came across my desk recently. All the computers turn on at once. A great horror movie trick. A great scary thing. All the computers on at once. Who did it? But the real horror here is that Buffy then bumps into Dave, who is dead. And there's a suicide note pinned to his chest. But we know that Fritz did it at the command of Moloch. And this is a real fucking bummer. This is another student death. We're going to lose Fritz too, but not to prioritize. I'm sadder about Dave than I am about Fritz. Okay. In the library, they haven't reached Willow, and Xander says something that genuinely, all jokes aside, is a beautiful time capsule. There was no answer at Willow's house, but the line wasn't busy, so she's not online. There it is, folks.
Was there ever such a time?
Oh, God, I remember it so well. My mom had to make a fucking phone call, and I was like, do you understand I'm doing important shit up here? I'm typing like Angelina Jolie, goddammit.
So Buffy bounces back to the library to update Xander and Giles, let them know that Dave is dead. Does anyone call the police? Does anyone report that there's a dead body?
Not yet.
A dead human being? Okay.
Jenny, actually, we're going to get the police arriving for a death on the Sunnydale campus next episode. So, you know, you just await one more week for that.
They can get them all. They can get
they saved them all. Yeah,
then.
even the guy in the locker.
Yeah,
They've all been waiting.
Dr. Gregory, the whole thing. Okay, so Buffy and Xander are going to go to Willow's to look for her. And Giles, his assignment is to get Moloch off the internet. And he's like, however shall I do with that? And they're like, why don't you ask Jenny Calendar?
They're like, call your girlfriend, you know?
Yeah. She was actually only referred to as Ms. Calendar or Miss Calendar in this episode. She was in the script going to be Nikki Calendar, but because everybody called Nick Brendan Nikki, they decided to avoid confusion on set and named her Jenny. What a cool name.
Wow, that's such fun trivia. Mm-hmm. This is exciting to me because, Jenny, it's the first time we've seen Willow's house. It's the first time we've seen Willow's room.
Oh, wow. Later, much later, she'll have a visitor that we really enjoy.
Yeah, and I think, does she go up the stairs to her room in this episode? Because her room in the scene that you're thinking about is definitely on the first floor. She has like a sliding glass door in her room later on, I believe. Something like that.
Or like a door out to the balcony or something. I thought it was second floor.
Oh, okay. Maybe it is a door to the balcony.
Kristin, I'm looking at the original, the like ad that would have popped up in like TV Guide or whatever, or your local listings for this episode. Terror has a new address. The World Wide Web.
Oh, that's so incredible. I love it.
Yeah, that's some good shit.
Ding dong. Fritz is here. He like chloroforms her.
Ugh.
And takes her out. No more waiting. Okay, so tiny details delight me. When we go to Giles's office, Jenny Calendar's about to arrive. Here, they didn't care about confusion on set. We've got a Jenny here. We've got a Jenny in the show. We just have to deal with it here. This is Jenny Calendar. She's about to arrive. But on the Giles is listening to the radio. And the two clips that they play from this radio show are a spokesperson for the Archbishop denied the allegations, blaming computer error for the apparent financial discrepancy. And in Washington, D.C., the FBI today reported that all of its serial killer profiles have been mysteriously downloaded from its central computer. Scully and Mulder are having an episode.
They are. Mulder's like, all my beautiful profiles. You know whose voice that is on the radio?
Who?
It's Joss Whedon. Ever heard of him?
Oh my God. Wow. Could have had a career as a radio announcer.
So Jenny comes in and Giles is like, he hems, he haws, he huffs and puffs, and is ultimately like, there's only one way to do this. Look, there's a demon in the internet. And Miss Calendar's like, I know. Dun, dun, dun. Cut to Willow's house. Buffy and Xander arrive. The door is ajar. Willow is gone. They see the email on the screen. I need you to see me. Xander says they're probably at CMD. CMD, that's what it's called? CRD. Computers really do it for me. Okay, it's time for Jenny to reveal that she is not a witch. Actually, she doesn't have that kind of power.
No. She is.
Techno-pagan is the term.
Techno-pagan has entered the chat.
She's like, I bet it's a mischief demon or this guy or that guy. And he's like, it's Moloch. And she says, the Corruptor? That's exactly the kind of recognition that I want to build up over time for my title. Yeah, I think it was actually Jenny.
The
influencer? Yeah.
Oh God. I love this little bit of the exchange where Giles is like, who are you? And she's like, I teach computer at Sunnydale High. And he's like, that doesn't explain how you'd know all of this. And she's like, wrong, and you're a snob. Not all of us needed to go to 40 years of fucking Watcher school to learn about demons, you ding dong.
Yeah. Yo, Buffy calls from the CRD payphone. Kristin, she went home and put on a whole other trench coat. And there's a couple reasons that this is impractical. The biggest one is that the trench coat she was wearing previously was dark and would have like blended in more with the dark of night that she's currently ensconced within. But she's wearing a bright white with like sort of like black animal spots. Kind of
Yeah, it's like
trench.
a light leopard coat.
This where did this come from? Contempo Casual?
Oh, yeah. Contempo.
Wet Seal?
I
Deb? I feel like I've said this exact list of 3 stores on a recent episode.
579? Were those the sizes?
Oh my God. 579. Delia's. Remember, did you ever, at the risk of having a conversation we've had before, we all who were alive, of course, know the Delia's catalog. But did you ever get a brick and mortar Delia's in your local mall?
We did. It was like a little bit after the curve, but there was I definitely spent more time with the Delia's catalog without the brick and mortar than I spent like going into the Delia's brick and mortar. But Crossgates Mall, to my memory, did get a Delia's store. Less exciting than the catalog. The catalog was where it was
the
at.
catalog had something. It really was its own thing. It was so distinct, and it really struck me recently. There's an Instagram account that I follow called Velvet Coke that posts all kinds of stuff. Great follow, would recommend. But they posted a bunch of pages from an old Delia's catalog, and they were like, these catalogs like had such a distinct personality. They were like so iconic, and like models like they named a person like really defined the look of this era or whatever. And I like looked at the person and was like, as though it were yesterday, I would know that face anywhere. That Delia's catalog model.
Yeah. It really was a very specific thing. It was not like any other clothing catalog that existed. Maybe it was the asterisk, just changed it all.
Maybe it was like all the weird. I feel like they don't do this anymore in clothing catalogs. Like they would just have.
Sorry,
like these
do they have?
strange...
Yeah, I guess they do. LL Bean.
Yeah, they do, but they're not like blah 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 blah. One time, Kristin. One time. Sorry, this is the last thing that I will say about this, and then we can continue to talk about Buffy. One time when I was in college and I was working at Borders Books and Music, I had just gotten the new J. Crew catalog. I was like a big fan of their sweaters. I still am a big fan of their sweaters. Love J. Crew gentlemen's sweaters. And I was like looking through it on my lunch break, and I was sitting with my friend Paul, and they as they did, they had like all these, like sort of editorial, like, we're crafting a narrative about your little journey through our clothing catalog. It was like a lamb's wool sweater spread, and it was like, extra large for Dad, medium for Dave, ... and even extra small for Jenny. And I was like, Paul! Because at the time I was, wearing extra small men's sweaters, and I was like, Paul, it's me!
I'm in the book!
And Paul convinced me for a day. He was like, oh yeah, that was like, my friend Amelia actually works at the J. Crew, like the people, she puts together the catalog, and I like got her to put that in for you. And I was like, oh! And he had me going for like a full day.
Wow, that's your own never-ending story.
Oh, I'm so fucking stupid.
Wow, okay. Incredible. I love that. Paul, wherever you are, great work, man.
Bless, Paul. Hope you're well.
Okay, so Dave's there, of course, and Buffy's like, hurry up, Giles, let's fucking go. Inside CRD, Willow wakes up in a room, Neo could be here. There's a lot of blinking lights, a lot of machines, some kind of creepy ass looking chair. I don't know what's supposed to happen there. Maybe it's where Moloch was assembled.
It's Fritz's resting place.
Welcome, my love. The voice comes, we think, from the flashing red screen. It's so good to see you with. He steps out from the shadows in his machine form. My own 2 eyes.
Ka-chunk. He's ka-chunking all over the place here.
His voice has changed again. It's a little more human now in this machine body.
Well, I mean, nothing compares to having form, Kristin.
It's true. It's true. He puts his little palm, just like he used to, just like in the olden days. He puts his little palm on Fritz's noggin, snaps his neck. Down Fritz goes.
Did you see that Fritz's face when Moloch's hand touches the top of his head? His eyes like roll back into his skull as though he is doing something that's none of my business.
Yeah, actually, I did note that because I said out loud, well, if you gotta go, that's a good moment to go. You know?
Yeah, right.
High in ecstasy. Fritz, R.I.P. Outside, Buffy hops the fence and giving us a good laugh. Xander attempts to hop the fence and falls straight down with a scream.
You love to see it.
Moloch, of course, knows they've entered the building. Of course he does.
Well, he's got cameras everywhere.
He does.
And he's jacked in.
He is jacked in. He's jacked into a level that Fritz could only dream about.
Meanwhile, back at the library, Jenny is sending a flash out to her group. They need to make a circle on the internet.
A cyber circle. Ever heard of it?
Cyber circle. Listen, that also sounds like none of my business.
I agree.
So I love Willow like really taking Moloch to task.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, you suck. You mistreated me. You lied to me. You're no boyfriend of mine.
Fuck yeah. Willow and Angela Chase would be best friends. They'd know how to tell a guy to fuck right off.
And they both have very realistic shades of red hair.
Shades of red hair, yeah. Okay, so Buffy walks in, first of all, and just like walks in with her fist out directly into the security guard, which is incredible. He's just down before he can even blink. Moloch says he can see everything. Just so we know he's a bad guy, he says, right now a man in Beijing is transferring money for a contract on his mother's life. Good for him.
Jesus.
Buffy and Xander are in the hallway. The camera sees them. They can't break down the door because it's heavy steel, and even Buffy, even a Slayer, has her limits. And now there is a mist. You never want to see a mist. You never want to see it. It's not going to do good things
bad
to you.
News. Mm-hmm. Name me one good mist you've ever encountered.
Winona Ryder might say that the Dracula mist was a good mist.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we'll never know.
Yeah. Library, thank you for giving us the map of the circle. The cyber circle is mapped out for us, little dots around the globe. Giles begins in a normal tone. I command you. We cut. Now we're going to go back and forth. And I believe in my heart that the only reason we go back and forth between these scenes so much is so that every time we go back to Giles, his voice can be just like a decibel louder every time. Just cranking it up.
So you're saying Giles is cranking it?
Yeah. Yes, I am. And Jenny's losing it. She's losing it. It's not even buffering after dark, and she's losing it.
Yeah, it's straight up buffering middle of day, and I am long gone.
Okay, they're banging on the door. They're coughing inside the room. I love you. You are mine. Willow, I'm never going to be yours. Uh-oh. Moloch says.
Oh, pity.
Perfect. Giles is getting louder in the library. Moloch.
Xander's passing out because he has a lower resistance to whatever this mist is than Buffy the Slayer.
Yeah. Moloch has his hand on Willow's head. She screams. Back at the library, Giles, demon, come, I command you. Buffy gets through, tries to kick Moloch, but he's made of metal, so doesn't go as... You'll only see Buffy react like this again in season 7 with what's his fucking face? Showtime.
Turrican,
yeah. And maybe Adam. I'm deciding that we get to hear the last moments of Giles' spell so that you can all hear him at his peak.
No! I won't go back!
This is, if Jenny Calendar wasn't interested in Giles before this moment, I think this might have sealed it for her. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very windy in the library. Magic kicks up a lot of gusts of swiftly moving air.
I wrote, Moloch screams. Jenny's face flashes through colors, and there's a slight wind coming from the computer fan.
And then they're like, he's out of the net, but he's not in the book. He's in the robot body. A brawl ensues, and even Willow gets involved.
Malcolm! Remember me, your girlfriend? I think it's time we break up, but maybe we can still be friends.
Willow just absolutely going to town on this robot with a fire extinguisher.
I love it. I love it. A shout out, back up just quick. I want to shout out Xander, who does punch the tech and knock him out. And he's so proud of himself. And I'm so proud of him. It was a really good punch.
Yeah. I got to hit someone.
He throws Willow. Moloch throws Willow, not Xander. And Buffy pulls, in my notes I write, the old duck the punch while standing in front of an electrical box trick. This fries
a
Moloch.
Classic for a reason.
Mm-hmm. His little metal head rolls down the hallway with his little metal horns, and I love it. This next scene, Jenny, I think you should just talk about the whole thing because it seems like so much of your business.
Okay. So here we go. In the computer lab, Giles swings by to return Jenny Calendar's corkscrew. She's roasting him for like not being able to like stand comfortably in the computer lab. He's like, I'm even less anxious to be around computers now than I was before. And she's like, well, it was your book that started all the trouble. And he says, listen, let me explain to you why I don't like computers. It's the smell. And she's like, computers don't smell. And here is what he says. I know. Smell is the most powerful memory trigger there is. A certain flower or a whiff of smoke can bring up experiences long forgotten. Books smell, musty and rich. Knowledge gained from a computer has no texture, no context. It's there and then it's gone. If it's to last, the getting of knowledge should be tangible.
Yeah! That's Giles the seductor, you know?
Yeah, that is Jenny coded.
Yeah,
what I will say.
Yeah, this is where I'm a Giles guy. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't read unless I like have to travel and can't carry a book. I'm putting my hand on a book. I'm putting my nose. I'm in a used bookstore. You will find me cracking a book open and putting my nose in it and smelling deeply. I agree with this.
Jenny Calendar's like, you're an old-fashioned boy, and she's into it.
Yeah,
And he says, well, I don't dangle a corkscrew from my ear. And she says, that's not where I dangle it.
It just seems so impractical to dangle it anywhere else, Jenny.
I know. It's where?
It's so long.
Imagine. I'm scared.
If it was a small hoop, the possibilities would be endless, but it's so long.
Maybe she dangles it from her rear view mirror. Could that be it?
I mean, listeners, if we're missing some kind of like thing that we don't know about, like a dangling earring from a place that is meant for other purposes, you just let us know. But it just feels like,
Kristin, I'm pretty sure you know all the body parts.
I'm just saying, like, if they wanted us to believe that this was like a fucking a nipple ring or a fucking tongue ring or a fucking anything ring, it should have been smaller so we could really lose ourselves in the moment. But this thing is so long.
Lose ourselves.
Yeah, just like Eminem says, you got to lose yourself in the moment when you think about dangling earrings.
Oh, God. Listen. Elsewhere on the Sunnydale campus, over at the Sunnydale High Fountain, where we will be hanging out this coming April at Buffy Prom 2025 at Torrance, a.k.a. Sunnydale High.
Bufferincast.com/prom, baby. Come hang out at the fountain with us.
The teens are like, none of us is ever going to have a normal, happy relationship. We're doomed. And Kristin, I regret to inform you and everyone else, footage most readily found.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. I love how they all have.
So looking at this in mid-season 1 and thinking about everything that's to come, I'm just like, oh no, you guys.
I know.
At least you have each other.
At least you have each other and you have the ability to see each other, which is what I was going to say that I love is that like Willow's like, how could I have fallen for a demon on the internet? And Buffy's like, I fell for a vampire. And Xander's like, I fell for a praying mantis. And that's how you know you found your crew, you know? You found your people.
Yeah.
Oh,
the three sexualities.
Praying mantis, vampire, or internet demon. Oh, God. But yeah,
wow.
I had the same moment. They are doomed. I also could only hear the Friends theme song during this scene.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And that's the episode. Wild time. The fact that when I sat down, I watched two episodes back to back. Like once we cleared Angel, we're taping the next two kind of close together. So I was like, let's just watch them together. And when I saw I, Robot, You, Jane, followed by The Puppet Show, I was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, it's getting serious.
Jenny, the only question left for me to figure out is,
was she at the mall? Was she at ballet? Was she drawn on a trapper keeper all day? Was she nursing a crush on a boy from PE? Was she writing it all down in her diary? What was Dawn doing? What was Dawn doing? What was Dawn doing? What was Dawn doing?
All right. Nicole H. says, Dawn overhears one of the conversations between Buffy and Willow about Malcolm and thinks that he's super dreamy. She begs Joyce for a computer at home. Joyce says that computers with modems are too dangerous, but maybe she'd let Dawn play a game on the computer at the art gallery the next time that she's there. This spawns something exciting for me, Jenny, in the Discord, which is that Robin commented, the art gallery still used CompuServe numbered email addresses, but Dawn accidentally updated Joyce's to the Dawnmeister at CompuServe.com, and nobody could work out how to change it back. And then Kay Bethery said, Dawn definitely played that preloaded downhill skiing game where a Yeti would appear and eat you if you kept skiing past the finish line. The game was called Ski Free, and there was a GIF of it in the Discord, which really triggered some memories for me. And now, without further ado, Kristin with an I, not me. Let's hear what's happening in the Dawnmeister Chronicles, which people have started referring to as the Kristin Chronicles.
Whoa.
While Buffy helps Mr. Giles at the library, Dawn flips through the Dawnmeister Chronicles, reflecting on everything that's happened in Sunnydale. The mysterious deaths no one acknowledges, her mom's barbecue fork, quote, accident, the boy Buffy was kissing, gross, in her room with the fangs. The next morning, when Willow shows up late for fifth period, Dawn sits in computer class working on her Mavis Beacon assignment. The class is suddenly distracted by what the teacher sees on Kirsty's screen, gasping in horror and characterizing it as, quote, the most offensive, foulest, abhorrent content she's ever seen, while Kirsty vehemently insists that she didn't write it. The strange but timely distraction allows Dawn to get on the net. Typing vampire into the Alta Vista search bar leads her to a website, Demons,
Wow.
Demons, Demons,
Yes.
before the chaos dies down and she's forced to abort. Buffy comes home that night and tells Dawn about Willow's new online boyfriend. Buffy is unhappy about it, which clearly is just because she's jealous of how cool Willow is. She tries to bring up the other night with her fanged boyfriend, but Buffy insists that all Dawn saw was a shadow. The next day, Dawn can't log into her school computer. She learns that her entire school file and many of her digital records, including her birth records, have been deleted as though she never existed. Dawn panics, believing her extracurricular search resulted in a computer virus and shuts her net investigation down. This week concludes. Buffy is out late again, and her room is empty, so Dawn sneaks into Buffy's room to find her sister's diary looking for answers. She opens Buffy's nightstand, but it's not there. She must have moved it since that night. The sound of Buffy climbing into her second-floor bedroom window startles Dawn back to her room. She quickly climbs into bed, looking sound asleep when Buffy checks on her, already making plans for the next time Buffy sneaks out. I mean,
she's so busy.
Not to get ahead of myself here, but I just feel like Kristin with an I, not me, at some point, probably you should print these up and bind them and offer them to the general public, because they're a really good time. A great companion piece to the rewatch.
I feel so blessed to be alive in this time.
Same. Jenny, we're leaving the internet and we're about to go into the, what do you call it? A talking dummy, a ventriloquist dummy. We're about to leave Moloch and go to Sid the dummy. It's a true moment in the arc of the first season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Things are pretty wild, and they're going to get wilder before we're done with season 1. I can tell you that much.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we get into what's slowly becoming one of my favorite parts of the whole episode, Jenny and sometimes I talking about the creation of these songs.
Oh, yeah.
Who are you? Just so they know on the other side.
Oh, yeah. I'm Jenny Owen Youngs. And when I'm not making Buffy podcasts, etc. with Kristin, I'm usually making music. Sometimes I'm even performing that music in the flesh, IRL, as it were. In fact, in just a minute here, I'm going to be playing some shows hither and thither. The end of February here and into the first week of March, I'm going to be hitting up Northampton, Massachusetts, South Kingstown, Rhode Island, Portland, Maine, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and then over to Seattle, Portland, Oregon, Eugene, Albany, California in the Bay Area, Felton, California, and Los Angeles. And then I'll tell you what else. In May, beautiful friends, I'm going to be swinging through Vienna, Virginia, Philadelphia, and beautiful New York, on a little co-headline micro run with Robert Ellis. So that's all of my immediate touring activities. I'd love to see you out there.
How fun.
You can, yeah, Kristin, come on down.
Yeah, no, I won't be doing that because I'll have a baby. But where are you playing in New York, Jenny? What venue?
I'm playing at Cafe Wah.
Oh,
Cafe Wah, which is a place I've never been. I'm really excited to see what it's all. I'm familiar with it. I've known it by name for a long time, but I've never played there or seen a show there. I don't think.
I can picture the question mark, right?
Right?
Yeah, I can picture it in my mind.
You can. Yeah. So visit JennyOwenYoungs.com or find me on socials at JennyOwenYoungs to find links to snag tickets to come hang out and allow me to croon softly and respectfully at you in a city near you, coming right up.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm Kristin Russo, but you know me better as Kristin Noline. Find me on my website, KristinNoline.com. That's Noeline. It's the spelling of my middle name. What am I doing? Well, right now I'm just probably sitting in a room somewhere while a baby screams and there's food somewhere sitting out on a counter and
welcome to hell.
So not much, but when I crawl out of the baby-induced chaos, I often work with and for LGBTQ communities when I'm not making podcasts with Jenny, and you can learn all about my work there. You can find me on social media. Can you? Who knows? You know what? Moloch the Corruptor may have had a point. I'm not sure anymore about it all, but you can use the spelling of my name to find me on socials while I last.
Good God, woman. Perish not upon my watch.
No, I'm just saying while I last on the internet.
Oh, yes, okay. Speaking of the internet, again, still,
forever.
Nevertheless, the internet persists. Buffering the Vampire Slayer is on socials at BufferingCast. And you can always email us at hello@bufferingcast.com. And listen, it was never my intention to hoard this particular, the fruits of this particular request. If you have a title for Kristin, you can also email that to hello@bufferingcast.com. I want to know what her title is as well.
Cannot wait for your feedback. You can support the work that we do here. We would love to have your support. And we would also love to have you as part of our little Patreon community, a pretty powerful place for many, many reasons. And especially now, getting to gather with you all for movie watches and television show watches and just chats in the Discord is a really special thing. So join us at patreon.com/bufferingcast, or you can find all of this on our website, bufferingcast.com.
This episode was produced by Kristin Russo, Jenny Owen Youngs, LaToya Ferguson, and Moloch the Corruptor, with support from our consultant, Mackenzie McDade. It was edited by Kristin Russo and Moloch the Corruptor.
Get Moloch out of here.
Hey, I'm trying. Until next time. Woo!
Comes a time in a librarian's life when he has to look his adversary in the eye and say, "Hello, Ms. Calendar, scan what you must, but I don't have to like it." There comes a time in a Willow's life when she meets some mysterious boy online, but something doesn't add up, so fetch my disguise. What's this that I'm detecting? There's a demon on the internet. There's a demon on the internet. He's ones and zeros, just like you'd expect. There's a demon on the internet. There's a demon on the internet. There comes a time when the boy Willow met is actually that demon from the internet. Fucking Fritz is the worst, and he tried to electrocute me in the showers. There comes a time when a librarian learns that techno-pagan is the actual term, and Malcolm is Moloch, and Moloch got fried, and oh hey bye bye. If that's not where it dangles, then where does it dangle? There's a demon, now the demon's off the internet. There's a demon, now the demon's off the internet. Computers don't smell, but he's fried to shed. There's a demon, now the demon's off the internet. Yeah, the demon's off the internet.
A classic. An instant classic.
Wow, I can't. I remembered that we used the modem sound, and I remembered that the chorus was "There's a demon on the internet," but everything else is a pleasant surprise to me at this exact moment. Wow, I can't believe I went to the trouble of moving between two very distinct feels. The feel of the verse is definitely inspired by London Calling, the album. By The Clash, which I love and was like super into at this time, which actually just reminded me, maybe a couple months ago, I was in Hannaford, a grocery store here. I was at a Hannaford in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and there was like a kind of like punky looking old guy, like older guy. I was like, he's probably my age, an older man. Yeah. And we were like both kind of like looking, we were both definitely not fully up to speed on where the thing we were looking for was, and he like looked at me. We were both like having a moment of like simpatico, kind of like yeah, we're both confused, and he was like, "I'm all lost in the supermarket." And I was like, whoa, which is a lyric from from a song on London Calling called, I think, "Lost in the Supermarket."
Wow.
But okay, so wow, I think that we, if I recall correctly, or if I can make an assumption about like how my brain works,
yeah.
You know, I'm pretty sure that like the London Calling Giles connection was happening, you know, thinking about Ripper, you know, what was coming, the sort of like British punk thing. And then I think it was your idea to pull in the modem sound, which is like so. It was like so satisfying. I didn't remember it being so satisfying. I love that we got "Where Does It Dangle" in here,
especially because it's from Buffy's perspective. So, like, did she overhear it? You know,
she was walking by at exactly the wrong moment. What a fun. I love that. I'm like I'm pretty sure I'm running the acoustic guitar track through some kind of like distortion or guitar amp modeling plugin.
I gave a good fist pump when I first listened back to this, when you split up electrocute to get the rhyme.
Yeah.
I was like, nice, Jenny.
I celebrate that choice by past me. That's exactly the sort of thing I would get up to.
And like I also just remembered the chorus mainly, because I mean, how can you forget there's a demon on the internet? That's the what do you call it, an earworm? But the other thing that like then got restuck in my mind is Malcolm is Moloch and Moloch is fried, I think, or no,
got fried.
Yeah, there's something very satisfying about that like little lily pad hop that you do there.
I like a good lily pad hop.
And it's the thing that's fun, because when I listened to this and the Puppet Show like back to back, and then I was thinking like what's really fun is that we just came off of Angel, and like then we went back here. So like you're like, oh wow, Angel. I mean, you could be writing that about anybody. It could be about anything. And like we went there, but then like immediately we're like, great, there's a fucking demon on the internet. Let's just say some fucking words about it. And I think set the tone for
it's got
like
real bad eggs energy.
Yeah. Well, like we can be serious when we need to be serious, but we're not here to be fucking serious all the time, because neither is the show.
We can have feelings and we can have fun.
Exactly. The thesis statement of Buffering the Vampire Slayer.
Legendary stories, awe-inspiring sound, and endless adventure. Welcome to the realms of peril and glory. Explore the mechanically magical vistas of Vale, the paranormal mysteries of liminal London, and the cyberpunk chaos of Cyborg. With breathtaking sound design and enchanting original music, you'll be immersed into unforgettable campaigns and heart-pounding one-shots. Ignite your imagination and discover the realms of peril and glory today. Go to realmspod.com or search Realms of Peril and Glory wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural then and now.